I've always been a really avid reader of positive mental attitude books, and one of my favourites is the Stephen Covey classic, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And there's 7 really cool habits that you can apply into your life if you really want to sort of be the cream of your field, your life, your industry. And I thought it'd be really fun to apply them to what property investors have to do, because there are some similarities and some synergies across being a successful property investor. And the first one is to be proactive. And the amount of times I see people who are sitting on the sidelines who are interested in becoming a property investor, but they don't actually take that first step and get involved. And so really for me, being proactive is taking action. Of course, you need to not do it flippantly, and you need to get some really good advice. But you aren't going to be a property investor until you actually do it, until you actually talk to some people and get them to help you make good decisions around buying property investing. So be proactive is really simple. Take some action. The number 2 habit is begin with the end in mind. So for most people going through life, if they can keep their eye on the end prize, all they need to do is reverse engineer what they need to do today. Simple steps done daily will mean they'll get to that end prize. And that's the same with property investing. And I find that of the people who are proactive and who actually do take action to buy a property, a very large percentage of them don't really know what that end goal is. They've got this kind of, I want financial freedom, but I always say a dream, a goal without a date is just a dream. And so we really need to think, well, how much do I want to have in retirement? When do I want to retire? And then reverse engineer what that actually looks like. So I know based on my income and my expenditure and based on the amount of properties that I need to buy, when I can take the mystery out of it if I actually know what the end game is and work backwards. So beginning with the end in mind is really important as a property investor. The next habit is to put first things first. And for me, that's putting the big rocks in the jar, because it's not actually a competition between investors. So it's not actually a game of going, well, my portfolio is better than yours, because that's just ego and it's actually irrelevant. Because if I begin with the end in mind and I know what I actually want, and then I reverse engineer what that looks like, and I methodically go through that plan, it doesn't matter what the guy next door is doing. So I don't have to keep up with the Joneses. So for me, putting first things first is all about, okay, I've begin with the end in mind, I know exactly what it is. What do I need to do that's important so I can actually achieve that goal? So I think it's really important to know that that competitive stuff really isn't necessary. The number 4 habit is think win-win. And for me, there's a couple of parts of that. One is walk through the property that you're about to buy through the eyes of the tenant. How are they going to live in this house? Because it's got to be a win for them. Where will they be able to arrange their furniture? Are the room sizes big enough? Are the neighbours suitable? Are we in a nice street? Because the tenant is ultimately a really important part of the process. Equally, walk through with the eyes of an owner-occupier. Because if we're buying an investment property, we want it to have owner-occupier appeal. So we need to go, okay, well, is this just investment stock that any old investor will buy but the owner-occupiers aren't interested in? Or does it have that nice sort of emotional appeal to it that will keep them interested? That's really important. And then, of course, thinking win-win is when I'm actually negotiating for the property, how can I actually make this work for the vendor as much as it works for me? Can I find out what they need to win on so that I can actually win on the things that are important to me as well? So thinking win-win is a very, very important part of the entire picture, including the negotiations. The number 5 habit is seek first to understand, then be understood. And basically that means don't have predetermined ideas about what actually is going to work in a market. Actually go and find out what's actually going to work in that market first. What do they want? What does the tenants want? And then actually work backwards from that to find the type of property that you want. There's no point going into a market with your own theories and buy it only to be proven wrong, when you can do a bit of research in advance and understand first what's going on within that subsection of the market so you can buy the property accordingly. So seek first to understand, then be understood is the 5th habit. The 6th one is to synergize. And that's largely around people, bringing together a team of people. And my idea here is 1 + 1 = 11. The synergy that comes from the group energy is often better than the energy that you have yourself. So effectively, property investing is a team sport. It's not something that you can do in isolation on your own. It's like, even think about golfers, think about tennis players. They also have coaches and managers and people that surround them, even though it's an individual sport. So property investing is no different. It is definitely a team sport, and you need to synergise with other people to get the best results. And the last one, the habit number 7, is sharpen the saw. And for me, that's a big one. You've got to continually be looking for wisdom, not just information, when it comes to investing in property. So knowledge is knowing it's a one-way street, but wisdom is knowing you should look anyway. And for me, it's not just about knowing that property investing is a good thing. It's about what makes an investment grade suburb, what makes an investment grade asset, what makes for a great investment for my portfolio if I begin with the end in mind. So it's really, really important that you're continually looking to sharpen the saw, get more information, so that ultimately you get more wisdom when it comes to building your portfolio. So Stephen Covey was onto something when he wrote that book about how you can live a better life, and I think we can apply the principles as a property investor on how you can build a better property portfolio also.